Good evening, students.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah. 1 minute. They need to host me. 1 minute. So when are your half-yearly classes? When are your exams?
Ma'am,
Ma'am, in DAV, they didn't talk about any exams, ma'am.
Okay, one.
ma'am, in sunshine.
Join a meeting and host ka chair, sir. Share chela Tell me, when is your quarterly, school quarterly?
Ma'am, we have a periodic test only, ma'am.
No quarterlies.
Not till now, not ma'am.
You
No
got
quarter.
message from academy that you will be having exam, quarterly exam, biology?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I think so. September 13th or something, you will get a message. You'll have a biology exam, quarterly. Okay, very tough paper I'm going to give you all. So prepare them till head it or life process, how do organisms reproduce, as well as head eating. No evolution is there, only head eating. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
So So the school was able to complete till where we have finished, or still they are behind only, or we are lagging behind?
Ma'am, in Sunshine, they are taking heredity, ma'am. They finished heredity, now they are going through evolution only, ma'am.
Okay, they are also taking evolution.
Ma'am, in DAV, they are still in human
How to
reproduction. Ma'am.
identify.
How
Yeah,
to
ma'am.
organisms reproduce, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Today only the teachers started about the sexually transmitted diseases.
Okay, okay.
For us, they completed up to contraceptive methods, ma'am.
So in academy, you will be having exam, I think so, most probably on September 13th, quarterly exam. Okay. Till where I will not, although I'm telling evolution, evolution will not be included, only up to heredity. I'll be giving a very tough paper, not like before. So be prepared with every point and every bit, especially MCQs. You are, all of you are good in subjective. Subjective is not a problem for most of you, but MCQs is becoming a problem for you all, because most of you did not got in MCQs good marks in last time also. Am I right? Mostly you got for 20, 17, 16, 15 like that. So you need to prepare your MCQs also very properly, because this year we don't know how the paper will be, but there are clear indications that there may be 50% may be MCQs. Okay, so prepare properly. Your question paper will be a bit tough only. You need to answer them. So now you don't have any exams also in schools, no? So in the usually already you have studied how to organisms reproduce. You already studied life process. Again go, just give a brushing everything properly. Okay, don't miss any point.
Ma'am,
Yeah, ma.
in our academy when, ma'am? September 30 or 13, ma'am?
1-3, I think so.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
A ma'am will inform you all. You'll get a
In our
message.
school, we have exam, ma'am, at that time.
That's what she may be consulting you. She'll tell you the date. 1 minute, huh? Wait for
Okay,
the
ma'am.
date. Okay, I
We
too
have
don't know.
40 marks test, ma'am.
50.
No, ma'am, in our school, we have 40 marks test.
Okay, in your school you have 40 marks test.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
no problem. First 50 marks, 20 marks in that will be bits. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Same like previously you wrote 50 marks, in the same pattern you will be getting.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Shall we start heredity, the evolution, the last part?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So again, once again, I'll repeat the fossils.
Ma'am, you will share this PPT, ma'am.
I'll send you this one. This is a Word document only. I'll be sending. For heredity, it will be very useful for you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
I'll just put me a reminder. Last time also I have forgot you all. Just give me a reminder. I'll send you the this PowerPoint. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
So the study of fossils is known as paleontology. Okay. So what are fossils? That is nothing but the skeletal remains of any organism. Okay, our ancestors, the skeletal remains of our ancestor, or we call it as primitive organisms also. So for why we require fossils nowadays, why we need to study about the fossils? Okay, with the help of fossils, we will be able to know first of all when this, or if this organ, the whatever the skeletal remains are there, and the organism is an extinct organism, means now it is not living, it's nowhere seen in the global in the world. Okay, such organisms are known as extinct organisms. So at what time of age, or in what when this animals were existent, first we will be knowing, and based on the skeletal remains or whatever the remains we have found, based on that we will be able to know our ancestors, means from that organism anything has evolved, or from previously what used to be the organism, from which organism this fossil has been evolved, and from this fossil how what any other new species have been evolved. Okay, based on that only nowadays we are trying to classify the organisms. When we are trying to classify the organisms, previously we used to see only morphology. We used to see some anatomy, means anatomy means what are the products produced by the organism, or for example plants, what are the products produced by the plants, or what is this what type of a leaf they have, what type of veins they have. All we used to see the anatomy and for morphology of a particular organism. But nowadays they even started to include evolutionary relationship between the organisms. So for that only we need to study study of the fossils have gained lot of importance, and the study of fossils is known as paleontology. So the best example for the fossil is Archaeopteryx. This Archaeopteryx has both the features of the reptiles. I'm sorry, 1 minute. I was not able to underline. 1 minute. You're able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So Archaeopteryx. So they have discovered a fossil known as Archaeopteryx. They labeled it as Archaeopteryx because it has both the features of the reptiles as well as the birds. So it is like a hereditary link between the reptiles and birds. Previously, we never have thought there will be an evolutionary relationship between the birds, because birds are the aerospace animals. Although they are terrestrial animals, they mostly live in the atmosphere, whereas reptiles are pure land animals. Okay, so we don't know that, and their morphology, anatomy, everything is completely different. But we don't know this, but they both are interlinked, and the link is the Archaeopteryx, which has both the features of the reptile as well as the birds. So based on that, many fossils have been discovered. That is, their examples are ammonite, which is the example for fossil invertebrate. Again, tribulolite, also a fossil invertebrate. Nightia, fossil fish, and Rajasura's fossil dinosaur skull. Actually, in your textbook, the figures of these fossils are there. You can also go through the textbook for the figures. Since I did not keep this one, but you can go through the textbook for the figures. Okay, coming to the age of the fossils. How we know when this fossil was existed? Okay, what is the age of this fossil? So there are two types of methods. First one is based on the layers where the fossil was found. The deeper the fossil is, the longer is its age. Okay, the deeper the fossil is, or the older the fossil is, or deeper the fossil is in the soil layers, older is the age of the fossils. So if, for example, it is found below the fifth layer, as we shown here, if it's found below the fifth year, its age may be around 500 years old. It may be. Okay. So, but it is not a accurate method. It is a approximate method. approximately it may be around 450 or 500 years, or it may be around approximately 300 years, but we don't have the exact figure. Okay, it is an approximate method, not an accurate method. So latest development is radiocarbon typing. In radiocarbon typing, they started to use C14 radio labeled carbon. So by using this for carbon and by studying the degeneracy, they will be able to tell the exact age of the fossil discovered. So if there is no much technology available, simply by they previously used to tell by the depth of the where the fossil is found in the layers. But now recently they started to do radiocarbon dating. C14 radiocarbon dating was done to know the age of the fossils. Understood till here?
Ma'am, one doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, instead of C14, why can't they take C12 no, ma'am?
No, no. C14 is a one type of a radiocarbon isotope.
Okay, ma'am.
We have C12, C13, different isotopes are there, no. Whereas C14 is very hard to be degenerated.
Okay, ma'am.
So based on that, they will be, what they will do, they will do the radio typing. Based on it, we will be able to know the age.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. And also it can penetrate deep inside also.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So now coming to the evolution by stages. So always evolution does not take in a one rapid, suddenly we have not become humans from the monkeys. Anybody have seen that picture where slowly from monkeys, slowly we become into a human? Anybody have
Yes,
seen
ma'am.
that
I've
picture?
seen, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
I've seen, ma'am.
You have seen? 1 minute. I also will show to the remaining people. 1
Yes.
minute.
Ma'am, I've seen it in museums.
You have seen it, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So 1 minute. So you can see this picture.
Yes, ma'am.
So what it is? We are chimpanzees or monkeys. Okay. From there slowly our backbone has started to improve. Okay. From a bent position, we have come into a straight position. And slowly we have become straight and started to use two legs as we have four limbs. Four limbs. The legs are known as forelimbs, hands are known as hind limbs. But now we started to use forelimbs as legs, hind limbs for hands. So after this also, now we still improved ourselves. We still improved. Okay. So from this point, you can see the upper picture also. From this point, we still improved. Now also, you can see we are growing in height. Okay. If you see our ancestors, only few of them are not as longer as us. But when you see us, we usually, as the generation goes, from each generation, the slight increase in height is observed. Have you noticed that, any of you?
Yes, ma'am.
So how many of you are taller than your parents?
I am taller than my parents, ma'am.
I am taller than my parents,
Yeah,
ma'am.
great. See, that is the difference. If you ask your parents, no, your mother or father, they'll definitely say they are taller than their parents. Okay. So there is a slight increase in that. That is a gradual change. It is not noticed. Okay, it is a gradual change. So also the evolution or evolution stages is a gradual change, a bit by generations. Okay, so how this evolution change will be taking place is based on fitness advantage. Okay, how fit is the variation. Okay, based on that, the fitness advantage, the evolution takes place, and also based on the functional advantage. Based on, you are able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, previously there's an audio problem. So based on this, the evolutionary change can be classified into two types based on the variations: fitness advantage and functional advantage. If these two are there only, the evolution, the whatever the variation has been seen will be existent throughout the generations. Otherwise, it will be faded out. Okay. The best example, if you take a pencil and an ink pen, okay, ink will be present throughout the many generations. Okay, it will usually will fade, but it is visible. Whereas pencil always fades out. Okay, as the ages go, it fades out. It will have, we cannot be able to read what you wrote in a pencil after a few years. But it is not the so with the ink. Am I right? In the same way, the variations also, which has the fitness advantage and which has the functional advantage, will be existing. Whereas the unnecessary or useless variations will not be existing. So coming to the fitness advantage, those which are fittest will be able to survive. Okay. The best example is evolution of the eyes. So evolution of the complex organs is not sudden. It occurs due to minor changes in the DNA, how by a bit in a gradual process. So for coming to the flatworms, if you remember Platyhelminthes, which you have studied last year, the phylum, they have rudimentary eyes. Insects have a compound eyes, but we humans have a binocular eyes. So eye is a common feature. Eye is a common feature, but the structure of the eye varies from organism to the organisms. So flatworms are a very primitive organisms. Still they have a rudimentary eyes, but they are having eyes, but it is a rudimentary eyes. The vision is not as proper to our binocular eye. Compared to the insects, compound eyes, insects have a very well developed eyes compared to our eyes. They can view all the 360-degree angle. Okay. Next, if you compare more, even the octopus tentacles also have eyes on it. Okay. But still they are the rudimentary eyes. They cannot be complete. Rudimentary means it's an undeveloped one. Okay. Rudimentary means undeveloped eye. So based on this, you can see how the organ, the eye has been evolved from the flat forms to the humans. Okay, so this is the fitness advantage. Next, coming to the functional advantage. So for best example is evolution of the feathers. Okay, feathers produce insulation in cold weather, but later they might become useful for flight. For example, dinosaurs also have feathers, but they could not have flight. Birds have seemed to have later adapted the feathers to flight. So that is how the skin, which is covered by feathers, slowly has been developed into was adapted for using as a flight for the birds. That is the functional advantage. So all these are by natural selection only. Whatever I am telling you, these gradual changes, one with the evolution of the eyes and one is the evolution of feathers. All these are by natural selection only. That means they have been naturally be selected and developed. But this one, whatever we have this evolutionary advantage, later have been exploited by the farmers to develop different types of vegetables from the single primitive plant. Such a type of evolution is known as artificial selection. So humans started to modify the wild species of plants and they started to use the artificial selection to develop the hybrid varieties. Okay, when I am in your age, when I am in 9th class or 10th class, we used to get watermelon only during the summer season. Only during summer season from April 15th or something, by May end, all the watermelon used to go off. We used to be literally anticipating when the watermelon will be coming. But now you see watermelon all throughout the year. Same way cauliflower also. Cauliflower used to come only in the month of June, July and August. But now we are seeing cauliflower all throughout the season. Means they have been mutating genes and developing new varieties. Have you heard about the tomato? If you keep a tomato today outside, how long it can stay?
1 or 2 days, ma'am.
Even it will stay 4 or 5 days also. But previously it is not like that. If you take a wild tomato, if anybody is very interested in gardening and vegetation, if any of you are growing any crops, you can get a wild tomato seeds. Those tomatoes only stay for 1 or 2 days, not even 1 day outside. Or on the plant itself, they get fastly ripened. But now it is not the case. Now the tomatoes ripen very lately because they have changed its genetic characteristics. They have mutated the genes that causes rapid ripening of the tomatoes. So all these evolutionary changes or changes in the gene or variations, and nowadays the farmers started to exploit, the scientists have developed, exploited them and started to develop new varieties from the wild types. Such a evolution is known as evolution by artificial change. And the best example for you all is the wild cabbage. Okay, usually the wild cabbage is a very small structure. Okay, you can see in the figure. It's a very small wart-like thing. So from the wild cabbage, they started to develop all these varieties. So that is cabbage, kale, kohlrabi, cauliflower, and broccoli. I think so. This also nowadays it's been available in the supermarkets. Have any of you seen it?
Yes, ma'am.
So what they did is they arrested those parts. Means For example, wild cabbage is slightly different. They arrested the parts where the with short distance between the two leaves, means the distance between the two leaves was longer in a wild cabbage. When they arrested that part of the gene, we started to get now the cabbage what we are coming, because it is slightly different from the wild cabbage. Here the distance between the two leaves is very short. Next, coming to the broccoli, they have arrested the flower development. When they arrested the flower development, we got a new variety known as broccoli. Okay. Next, cauliflower has a sterile flowers. As they started to produce, when they started to produce sterile flowers, we got cauliflower. In the same way with kohlrabi, where the some of the parts are made to swollen, then we got kohlrabi. And in case of kale, we got, if they are larger leaves, they promoted the growth of the leaves to be larger. Then we got the kale. So from a single wild cabbage, we are able to get around 5 different varieties of the cabbage species only. So such a development is an evolution, which is an artificial one, which is a man-made one, is known as a artificial selection. And the best example for this is you can write wild cabbage. And nowadays, in addition to the wild cabbage, we have wheat, which are of many varieties have been developed, which are disease resistant. Even we have rice, which where we have seen many disease resistant varieties. Some of them are very longer. The grain will be longer, like biryani rice, or it may be thicker, shorter, brown in color, black in color. So many varieties have been developed for your understanding, because you must have seen different varieties of rice. For your understanding, I am telling you that. Have you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts still here?
No doubts, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No doubts, ma'am.
So there is another terminology known as molecular phylogenesis. So the study is based on an idea that changes in the DNA during reproduction are the basic events in the evolution. So organisms which are distinctly related will accumulate the greater differences in their DNA. So it is nothing but the study of the changes of the DNA. Okay, the molecular phylogeny is nothing but the study of the changes in the DNA that leads to the evolution. Please note down, molecular study is the study that studies the changes in the DNA which leads to the evolution. So these changes we already studied about it. So these changes usually occur during the DNA reproduction, and the variations will be accumulated and leads to the evolution. So mostly, like I told you, Archaeopteryx, birds and reptiles are distinctly related because these variations get accumulated and slowly leads to the evolution. So all this will be studied in the molecular phylogeny. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So coming to the human evolution. Okay. So how humans have evolved? We all know the first humans, or anybody has an idea, or if the first humans are detected in Africa. Okay, the first human existence are the Africans. From there we have evolved. All of us have evolved. So the tools used to study the human evolutionary relationships are excavating, time dating, fossils, and also to determining the DNA sequences. So all these tools were, that is DNA sequencing. These tools were used to study the evolutionary relationship between the different races of the human population. Different races means Chinese, Americans, Africans, Indians, Indonesians. So we have different features and races. Okay, we are classified as races, although we belong to the same species. So these 4 points, that is excavating, time dating, fossils, and determining the DNA sequencing, were used to determine the evolutionary relationship between the humans. Although there is a great diversity of human forms all over the earth, yet humans are the single population. So as I told you, earliest members are found in Africa. So previously, how it is, our world is like a single continent. So the humans have first evolutionary was found in Africa. So later on, the continents have been drifted apart. Now we have around 7 different continents are present. Okay, 7 different, I'm not drawing a world map, please. 7 different continents are present. So we humans also drifted apart. Although our human existence have come up in Africa, slowly the continents have started to drift apart, and finally we are having around 7 different continents like Asia, Europe, Antarctica, Arctic region, other different America. We have different continents. Asian, South, Japan is another continent, Australia. So we have 7 different continents. So we humans also started to drift apart. When they started to drift apart, there were variations has been accumulated in these human population to sustain the surrounding natural environment. So only we are able to get different races, although all the human species are same. Okay, so they did not go in a single line. They went forward and backward. They moved in and moved out of Africa, sometimes came back to mix with each other. So due to these 4 points, when we drifted apart, when there is also geographical isolation, we traveled around, we went back to Africa. Again, we mixed we mix it with different races. So only we are able to get different varieties of races from a single human population. Hope you have understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Any
Yes,
doubts?
ma'am.
No doubts, ma'am.
So, and this is the
No doubts, ma'am.
concluding of your chapter. We have completed the chapter heredity and the evolution. Any doubts in heredity and evolution?
No doubts, ma'am.
So you will write your exam perfectly. Yeah? Am I right?
Ma'am, 1 marks alone is confusing, ma'am. MCQs.
What no?
Only MCQs is confusing, ma'am.
MCQs you need to practice. Okay, when you
Okay, ma'am.
practice only you will be able to. Means MCQs means you need to read every word and line. Then only you will be getting.
Okay, ma'am.
But still we did not got any board paper, no model.
No,
So
ma'am.
only but they are telling that there will be 50% percent paper will be having MCQs, and so on. I'm making you all to practice.
Okay, ma'am.
The teachers have told any model has come.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Still we did not got. I think so we'll get in by this month ending.
Okay, ma'am.
So any doubts? I'll send you this paper, this document. Just put me a reminder. I'll be sending you this document. In the WhatsApp group, I'll be posting it. You please take it and read through it. Even few terminologies are here also at the bottom. Already whatever I have told you. Please go through the document properly. Okay. So now
Yes,
we are left out with 2 chapters. Our environment. Another one is
Sustainable development chapter, ma'am.
yes. Our environment is there for your board exams. Okay. Whereas
Then
sustainable development or natural sustainable development is there for your only for your periodic exams. It is not there for the board exams. So we will be completing all these 2 also. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So any doubts still here? With this, I'm concluding today's class very fast. Next class, I'm not going to discuss the evaluation question answers. We already have discussed the heredity part. Evaluation, we are not going to discuss because it's not going to come for the board also. We'll start off with the new chapter, our environment, in the next Friday. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, today I'm completing the fast class very fast. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.